Damn, nigga. This shit fuego.
Blood Ties. Pilot episode Breaking Point. In the heart of a dilapidated neighborhood, under the cover of night, Jaden, a 22-year-old with a hardened edge, stealthily navigates the dark streets. Clad in dark, baggy clothes and a hoodie, he approaches a rundown two-story house. With a crowbar in hand, Jaden pries open a side window, slipping inside with practiced ease. Inside, the house is a cluttered mess, the living room showing signs of neglect and decay. Jaden heads straight to a closet, forcing it open to reveal a hidden safe behind a false panel. Using a combination he obtained through his connections, Jaden unlocks the safe. His eyes widen in satisfaction as he discovers an assortment of high-end guns and stacks of cash. Jaden, grinning, jackpot. He stuffs the loot into a duffel bag and quickly makes his way back to the window, disappearing into the night. Back at his apartment, the scene is lively despite the mess. Jaden and his best friend, Lucas, are surrounded by their recent haul. Jaden pulls out a new gun, admiring it, while Lucas grins and starts a live stream on Twitter. Lucas, laughing, "Yo, Greg, this is what happens when you mess with the West Side. We out here." Jaden holds up one of the guns, proudly showing it to the camera. Jaden, "Hey East Side, remember this face? We're taking over." The two flaunt their stolen goods, taunting their rivals with bold, defiant statements. Lucas, mocking, "Gregory, you think you're untouchable? Think again." Meanwhile, across town, Gregory, a burly and menacing figure in his 40s, watches the live stream with mounting fury. His face darkens as he sees the stolen goods and hears the threats. Gregory, fuming, "Them little punks want to play? They just made a big mistake." He slams his fist on the table, causing objects to scatter. Gregory, to his crew, "Get ready. We're going after them." The next morning, Jaden wakes up to a frantic call. He checks his phone and finds a distressing message, a photo showing Lucas's lifeless body, marked by a gunshot wound. Jaden, screaming, "No! Lucas!" Overwhelmed by grief and anger, Jaden paces the room, his emotions raw. Jaden, angrily, "It's Gregory. I'm coming for you." Determined, Jaden grabs the guns and prepares to confront his rival. That night, Jaden enters a club known for its East Side Bloods connections. The atmosphere is thick with tension. Jaden scans the crowd, searching for Gregory. In a dimly lit back alley, Gregory steps out for a breather. Jaden follows, emerging from the shadows. With a cold determination, Jaden aims his gun at Gregory. Jaden, coldly, "It's time to pay, Greg." Gregory turns, recognizing Jaden. He reaches for his gun, but Jaden is quicker. A shot rings out, and Gregory falls to the ground. As dawn approaches, Jaden returns to his apartment. He sits alone, staring at a blood-stained gun and a framed photo of Lucas. The weight of his actions is heavy, and the gravity of his choices settles in. Jaden, to himself, "This ain't over."
These niggas say they out here drilling, what they shooting, airball. We get the spin around your block, striking shit like softball. Aim so good I get the shooting, I'ma knock your top off. I know some niggas around your hood, I can get you knocked off. I know I'm here, fuck what they saying though. Leave my house, I'm fresh as fuck coming out that front door. Ain't scared of shit, what the fuck you think I got this gun for? You say it's that we hunt shit down, feel like Columbo. Look at this nigga, he think he's safe because his friends with him. We spin his block and let that fan hit him.
Episode 2, Ripple Effect. With Gregory dead, the East Side Bloods are plunged into chaos. The vacuum left by their fallen leader has sparked a fierce scramble for dominance, turning the streets into a volatile battleground where every faction seeks to capitalize on the power shift. In an abandoned warehouse, the atmosphere is thick with tension. Shark, the new de facto leader, stands before his gang, addressing them with urgency. "Shark, Greg's gone. It's time to stake our claim. Move fast and secure our turf." The gang members nod, their faces reflecting the gravity of the moment. They know that every second counts in this cutthroat struggle for power. Meanwhile, Jaden is grappling with the fallout from his recent actions. In his cluttered apartment, the news report about the escalating violence plays on the TV. Jaden's frustration boils over as he slams his fist on the table. News anchor: with Gregory's death, multiple gangs are vying for control, leading to increased violence in the neighborhood. Jaden, to himself, this is spiraling out of control. I need to stay ahead. Jaden, resolute, seeks out alliances to strengthen his position. He meets with Cobra, a slick and shrewd intermediary, in a dimly lit complex apartment in the back room. The air is heavy with the smoke from his cigar and fluorescent lights. Jaden, Cobra, I need meetings with other leaders. I need allies. Cobra, alliances come at a price. Pay up, and I'll set it up. Jaden sits a briefcase of cash on the table. Cobra's smirk grows as he promises to arrange the crucial meetings. Later, in a worn-out diner that serves as a neutral meeting ground, Jaden negotiates with Viper, rival gang leader, and Raven, a strategic and calculating figure. The diner's faded charm contrasts sharply with the tension of their discussion. Viper, you think you can just step in and take over? Raven, our territories overlap. What's your play? Jaden, I propose a truce. We work together to stabilize the east side. Viper, we'll consider it. But remember, one mistake and you're out. Raven, and we don't tolerate errors. Jaden's attempt at diplomacy is fraught with tension, but it's a necessary gamble. As he heads back to his apartment, he's haunted by the memory of Lucas, his fallen friend. Jaden holds Lucas's photo close, driven by a deep sense of duty. Jaden, holding Lucas's photo, I need to make things right. On a dimly lit street corner, Blaze, a notorious enforcer, appears and offers a warning. His presence adds an ominous layer to the already fraught situation. Blaze, things are heating up. Watch your back and consider new allies. Blaze disappears into the shadows, leaving Jaden with a growing sense of unease. Alone in his apartment, surrounded by maps and notes, Jaden's phone buzzes with a new message. A chilling image of a blood-stained street, a stark reminder of the violence consuming the east side. Jaden, muttering, this is just the beginning.
I know killers, I did drills, we can't break that bond. I got niggas up in that jail cell trying to make that bond. Real nigga who got caught had to do that time. I know a nigga made 100 racks and that nigga blind. Fuck what you heard, bitch, I'm on my bitch.
Episode 3. Under Pressure. Jaden's standing on the rooftop of his apartment building, looking out over the east side. The city below is tense, its streets on the verge of chaos. Jaden's expression is hard, reflecting the immense pressure he feels. He's at the center of a storm he helped create, and now he must find a way to control it. Jaden walks through a street scarred by recent gang violence, bullet holes in walls, shattered glass on the ground. The city feels like it's holding its breath. As Jaden moves with purpose, his phone buzzes. It's a message from Cobra. Cobra, Viper's getting restless. You need to keep him in line. Jaden clenches his jaw. He knows the fragile alliance is at risk. He heads straight to Viper's nightclub, where tension hangs as heavy as the bass from the speakers. Inside, Viper sits surrounded by his crew, his eyes narrowing as Jaden approaches. Raven, Viper's right-hand man, stands silently beside him, his presence intimidating. Viper, mocking, so, you're here to keep me in line? Jaden, calmly, this isn't about control. It's survival. We need to hold together, or we all fall. Raven's eyes bore into Jaden, assessing every word. Viper, you think you can just walk in here and tell us how it's gonna be? Jaden, if you think I'm trying to control you, then walk away now. But don't come crawling back when the east side burns. Viper glances at Raven, who gives a slight nod, signaling his agreement. Viper's expression hardens, but he finally nods. Viper, for now. But one wrong move, and we're done. Jaden meets with Cobra in an abandoned building that serves as a neutral ground. Cobra is already waiting, leaning against a wall with a cigarette in hand. Jaden, Viper's on board, but I don't trust him. Raven's watching every move I make. Cobra, you're smart not to trust them. But if you want to survive, you'll need to keep them close. Raven's sharp. He's the one keeping Viper from making rash decisions. Jaden nods, understanding the importance of keeping both Viper and Raven in check. They begin to outline their next steps, knowing the stakes couldn't be higher. Later, Jaden returns to his apartment, sensing something off. The door is slightly ajar. He moves cautiously inside, hand on his gun. The room is dark, silent. Suddenly, Blaze emerges from the shadows, launching an attack. The fight is brutal, both men crashing through the small space. Blaze taunts Jaden as they struggle. Blaze, you really thought you could control this? You're just a pawn. Jaden finally gains the upper hand, pinning Blaze against the wall, gun to his chest. Jaden, who's behind this? Blaze smirks, blood on his lip. Blaze, you'll never stop it, Jaden. The East Side's already lost. Before Jaden can press further, Blaze slips free and disappears into the night, leaving Jaden alone in his trashed apartment, more determined than ever. Jaden meets Viper and Raven at a secluded spot on the edge of East Side territory. The atmosphere is tense, but Jaden doesn't waste time. Jaden, we're being played. Someone's been setting us up to destroy each other. We need to hit back, together. Viper crosses his arms, still skeptical. Viper, and what's to stop you from taking over once we do? Raven, who's been silent until now, steps forward, his voice low and deliberate. Raven, this isn't about power anymore. It's about survival. If we don't act, there'll be nothing left for any of us. Jaden looks Raven in the eye, sensing the weight of his words. Jaden, I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to survive. Viper finally nods, albeit grudgingly. The uneasy alliance is formed, and the plan to strike back begins to take shape. As they part ways, the tension remains, but there's also a sense of purpose. They know the fight ahead will be the hardest yet. Jaden returns to his apartment one last time before the planned assault. Standing in front of the mirror, he stares at his reflection, the weight of his choices clear in his eyes. He picks up Lucas's photo, holding it tight. Jaden, softly, I'll make this right, Lucas.
I know killers, I did drills, we can't break that bond. I got niggas up in that jail cell trying to make that bond. Real nigga who got caught had to do that time. I know a nigga made 100 racks and that nigga blind. Fuck what you heard, bitch, I'm on my...
Episode 4, Collateral Damage. With a tense atmosphere on the streets of the East Side, the sun is setting, casting long shadows over the crumbling buildings. Jaden walks through the neighborhood, his face set with determination, but his eyes betraying a deep worry. The sound of distant sirens echoes through the air, and people in the neighborhood are on edge, talking in hushed tones about the recent violence. Jaden passes by a local bodega, where an old man, Mr. Harris, is locking up early, his face weary. Mr. Harris, shaking his head, "This ain't the neighborhood I remember. Kids these days, it's getting worse." Jaden, nodding solemnly, "We're gonna fix it, Mr. Harris. I promise." Mr. Harris gives a skeptical look but doesn't say anything as Jaden continues on his way. Jaden makes his way to a familiar spot, an alleyway behind a rundown apartment building where he and his crew used to hang out. Viper and Raven are already there, leaning against a wall, watching the street. Viper, straight to the point, Blaze is still out there, and the block's getting hotter by the day. People are scared, Jaden. They think we're losing control. Jaden, leaning in and tense. We ain't losing control. We're being played. Spectre's using Blaze to keep us distracted while he moves in on our turf. Raven, calmly, we got to flush him out. Hit the streets, find out where he's hiding, and take him down. Jaden, nodding, I talked to Cobra. There's a meeting going down tonight at the Old Docks. High profile. If Spectre's involved, this is our shot. The three exchange knowing looks. There's no need for more words. They know what's at stake. The tension in the air is palpable, the weight of the situation heavy on their shoulders. Viper gritting his teeth. If we're doing this, we do it right. No more collateral damage. Jaden firmly agreed. We protect the neighborhood first. Later that night, Jaden, Viper, and Raven roll out. They keep it low-key. They drive through the neighborhood, the familiar sights passing by, graffiti-covered walls, boarded-up windows, the faint glow of streetlights casting shadows on the pavement. They pull up to the docks, parking a couple of blocks away to avoid drawing attention. The place is eerily quiet, the only sound the distant hum of the city. They move through the shadows, their faces grim with resolve. Jaden whispering, "Remember, in and out. We get what we need and bounce." No heroics. They creep closer to the warehouse where the meeting is supposed to take place. Looking around the corner, Jaden spots Blaze, talking animatedly with a group of shady-looking figures. But something feels off. The setup is too perfect. Raven, quietly, "It's a setup." Viper, gritting his teeth, "We're already here. We see it through." Suddenly, the sound of footsteps echoes from behind. They've been made. Two thugs emerges from the darkness, weapons drawn. A tense standoff ensues, the air thick with anticipation. Jaden, calmly, "We don't want trouble. Just Blaze." Blaze, stepping forward, smirking. "You think you can walk in here and make demands? You're out of your depth, kid." Jaden, coldly, "We'll see about that." The tension breaks as a gunshot rings out. Chaos erupts. Gunfire, shouts, the clatter of feet on pavement. Jaden, Viper, and Raven dive for cover, returning fire as they move through the maze of crates and shipping containers. The fight is brutal but quick. Blaze's men aren't ready for the ferocity of Jaden, Viper, and Raven. As the dust settles, Blaze is down, bleeding out on the cold concrete. Jaden chases Blaze around containers. He gets shot at by Blaze, being hit by one of the bullets. Jaden's still able to chase him down, shooting him in the back 5 or 6 times before Blaze falls to the ground. Jaden approaches him, gun in hand, eyes cold. Jaden, gritting his teeth. "Who's Spectre? Why is he doing this?" Blaze laughs weakly, coughing up blood. Blaze, smirking, "You'll never know. He's everywhere and nowhere." Before Jaden can press further, Blaze's eyes glaze over. He's gone, taking whatever secrets he had with him. Raven, grabbing Jaden's arm. "We need to go. Cops will be here soon." Jaden stands there for a moment, staring down at Blaze's lifeless body before nodding. They slip away into the night, leaving the chaos behind. The next morning, Jaden is back in the neighborhood, watching as the community tries to pick up the pieces. The streets are quieter now, but the tension is still there, lingering in the air like a bad memory. Jaden walks past the bodega again, where Mr. Harris is sweeping up broken glass from a shattered window. He pauses, watching the old man struggle with the weight of the situation. Mr. Harris, without looking up, "You boys think you're making a difference, but all I see is more bodies in the street." Jaden, softly, "We're trying to stop it." Mr. Harris, finally looking at him, tired, "Try harder." Jaden nods, walking away, the weight of the world on his shoulders. He walks down the street, determination and doubt warring in his eyes. Jaden, to himself, "This ain't over. Not by a long shot."
Grew up in a wreck, ain't had no chance, I had to make me one. Living too damn fast, got a bag, then got another one. All my bitches bad, you wish you had, they not the basic ones. He just saw a flash before my chain, now his life is
Episode
done.
5, Double Cross. The east side is buzzing with tension as Jaden's rise to power begins to ripple through the neighborhood. People are nervous, some hopeful, others fearful. Jaden, walking through the streets with Viper, catches snippets of conversation and suspicious glances. The air is thick with the smell of rain and uncertainty. Jaden, glancing around, "You feel that? Everyone's watching, waiting to see if we're the real deal." Viper, gritting his teeth, "They're scared. Power's shifting, and no one knows what's coming next. But something's not sitting right with me, Jaden." Jaden, nodding deep in thought, "Yeah, I've been getting that too. Feels like someone's pulling strings, making sure we're always a step behind." Jaden sets up a meeting with Cobra, a shady middleman who's been brokering deals for both sides. They meet in a dingy back alley, the walls covered in peeling posters and graffiti, the ground littered with broken glass. The alley is damp from the recent rain, the air heavy with the smell of oil and decay. Jaden, direct as narrowing, "Cobra, things have been going too smooth lately. Like someone's setting us up to fail. Cobra, defensive but with a hint of smirk. Come on, Jaden. I'm just here to make things happen. You know, I don't pick sides. There's no profit in it. Viper, stepping closer, voice low and threatening. Then explain why every move we make, someone's already there waiting. You double-crossing us, Cobra. Cobra, raising his hands, trying to play innocent. Hey, don't jump to conclusions. I'm in the dark just like you. This is the game, man. We're all pawns. Before Jaden can press further, the sound of approaching footsteps echoes through the alley. Jaden and Viper immediately go on high alert, their hands instinctively reaching for their guns. A group of armed men steps out from the shadows, their faces hidden by hoods. Jaden, coldly not taking his eyes off Cobra. You brought us here to die, didn't you? Cobra, panicking now. No. I swear I didn't know. Viper, cutting him off, gun drawn. Save it. We're not going down without a fight. The alley erupts in gunfire. Jaden and Viper take cover behind a dumpster, returning fire with deadly accuracy. Cobra, caught in the middle, scrambles for cover, but is grazed by a bullet. He takes the opportunity to make a run for it, disappearing into the chaos. Jaden, gritting his teeth, firing at the attackers. We're getting out of here, Viper. Stay low and keep moving. The gunfight is intense, with bullets ricocheting off the walls and shattering windows. Jaden and Viper manage to take down several of the attackers before the rest retreat into the night. The alley falls silent, the ground littered with spent shells and blood. Viper, breathing heavily, wiping sweat from his brow. That was too close. Cobra set us up, no doubt about it. Jaden, nodding, his expression hard. He's working with someone bigger. We need to find out who and fast. No more surprises. Back at their safe house, a small but lit apartment with peeling wallpaper and barred windows, Jaden and Viper regroup. The tension between them is palpable. Viper is pacing the room, still on edge from the fight, while Jaden sits on a couch, deep in thought. Viper, angrily, we should have taken Cobra out when we had the chance. Now he's out there, and he knows too much. Jaden, calmly but with resolve, we're not going to kill him. Not yet. We need to know who he's working for. Someone's pulling the strings, and Cobra is our only lead. Viper, stopping his pacing, turning to Jaden. So what's the plan? We wait around until he strikes again. Jaden, shaking his head. No. We go on the offensive. We spread the word that we're looking for Cobra, and we make it clear that anyone caught helping him is dead. We'll flush him out. Viper, grinning slightly, liking the plan. Yeah, that'll work. He won't have anywhere to hide. Jaden stands up, looking out the window at the darkened streets below. His mind is racing with possibilities, but one thing is clear. The double cross has made things personal. Jaden, to himself, determined, this isn't over. We're going to find Cobra, and when we do, we're going to take down everyone involved. No mercy.
I know killers, I did drills, we can't break that bond. I got niggas up in that jail cell trying to make that bond. Real nigga who got caught had to do that time. I know a nigga made 100 racks and that nigga blind. Fuck what you heard, bitch, I'm on my grind. Can't trust a soul, bitch, I keep my 9. I'ma let it blow.
Episode 6. The Past Haunts. Jaden sits in his dimly lit apartment, holding an old photo of himself and Lucas. The room is silent except for the distant sounds of the city outside. Suddenly, his phone buzzes, breaking the stillness. He picks it up and sees a message from an unknown number. You think you're safe? The past has a way of catching up. Attached is a photo of a younger Jaden, from a time he thought was long behind him. Jaden, frowning, staring at the screen. Who's messing with me now? He tosses the phone onto the table, frustration building inside him. The past wasn't supposed to come back. Jaden heads to a rundown bar on the outskirts of town, a place where shadows hide secrets. The air is thick with smoke and the low hum of conversation. In a dark corner, Jaden spots Manny, an old acquaintance from his rougher days, nursing a drink. Jaden, sitting down across from Manny. Manny, I need answers. Someone's digging into my past. Manny, looking up surprised. Jaden? Man, it's been a while. Didn't think I'd see you here again. Jaden, leaning in serious. This isn't a social call. Someone knows things they shouldn't. I need to find out who. Manny, taking a sip, thinking, You made enemies back then, Jaden. Some people don't forget. If they're coming for you now, it's personal. I'll ask around, but watch your back. This could get ugly. Jaden nodding resolute. I can handle it. Just find out who's behind this. As Jaden leaves the bar, the cool night air hits him, but it does little to calm his mind. Memories of a botched robbery from years ago flood his thoughts. A job that went south and left a trail of blood and regret. He clenches his fists, the weight of the past pressing down on him. Jaden, to himself bitterly, I thought I buried this. How the hell did it come back? The regret and anger simmer beneath the surface, but he pushes them down, focusing on the task at hand. Back at his apartment, Jaden paces the floor, his mind racing with possibilities. The tension in the room is thick. His phone rings again, and he hesitates before answering. The voice on the other end is distorted, cold, and filled with menace. Voice on the phone, you thought you could outrun your past, Jaden? It's time to pay for what you did. Jaden, gripping the phone, anger rising. Who the hell are you? What do you want? The line goes dead before he can get an answer. Jaden slams the phone down, fury boiling inside him. Jaden, to himself, determined, they want to fight? I'll give them one. I'm not backing down. He walks to the window, staring out at the dark city streets below, his expression hardening. The past has caught up with him, and it's threatening to destroy everything he's worked for. Jaden, whispering to the city, this isn't over. Not by a long shot.
I know killers, I did drills, we can't break that bond. I got niggas up in that jail cell trying to make that bond. Real nigga who got caught had to do that time. I know a nigga made 100 racks and that nigga blind. Fuck what you heard, bitch, I'm on my grind. Can't trust a soul, bitch, I keep my 9. I'ma let it blow for you take my shine. You already know, bitches do or die. What you think I'ma do when it come to me?
Episode 7, Ghost to the Past. Jaden receives an anonymous text with an old photo attached, a picture of him as a teenager from his old neighborhood. Memories he had tried to bury flood back, and he feels a chill run down his spine. He quickly tries to trace the number, but it's a dead end. Frustrated, he tosses his phone onto the couch. Jaden, muttering to himself, who the hell are you? The next day, Jaden meets with Viper and Raven at a secluded location, a grimy mechanic shop, an old, abandoned building. The air is damp, and the walls are covered with old graffiti and peeling paint. Viper and Raven are already there, discussing the latest developments. Jaden, serious. Someone's trying to mess with me, bringing up old shit from the past. Viper, raising an eyebrow. What kind of past are we talking about? Jaden, hesitant. Stuff from before I was in the game. Before all this. Raven, leaning forward. You think it's connected to what's going on now? Jaden, nodding, I do. They're trying to get in my head, make me slip up. Viper, smirking. Sounds like they're scared. Whoever it is, they know you're a threat. Jaden, gritting his teeth. Maybe, but I'm not going to let them win. I need to find out who's behind this and why they're digging into my past. Raven, calmly, we'll help you. But be careful. The past has a way of pulling you back in, and it's never pretty. Jaden, determined, I'm ready for whatever comes. Let's do this. Later that night, Jaden returns to his old neighborhood, a place he hasn't visited in years. The streets are quieter than he remembers, but they still hold a certain danger. He walks past the corner store where he used to hang out, the playground where he and Lucas would play basketball. Every corner seems to hold a ghost from his past. He stops in front of a rundown house, the one where he grew up. The windows are boarded up, and the paint is peeling off, but it's still standing. Jaden hesitates before walking up the steps and pushing the door open. Inside, the house is cold and empty, filled with the memories of a life he tried to forget. As he moves through the rooms, he hears a noise. Someone's in the house. Jaden immediately draws his gun, moving silently toward the sound. He turns a corner and comes face to face with a man from his past. Leo, an old friend who took a different path, one that led him deep into the underworld. Jaden, surprised. Leo? What the hell are you doing here? Leo, smirking. I could ask you the same thing, Jay. Been a long time. Jaden, lowering his gun, but still wary. Not long enough. Why are you here? Leo casually, heard you were back in the game, making waves. Thought I'd drop by, see if you needed some help from an old friend. Jaden, suspicious. I don't need your kind of help, Leo. Not anymore. Leo, chuckling. You sure about that? Seems like you've got some heavy shit coming your way. Old enemies, new enemies. Maybe it's time to bury the hatchet and work together. Jaden, coldly. The only thing I need from you is information. Who's digging into my past? Who sent you? Leo, raising his hands. Relax, man. I'm not here to mess with you. But if you're looking for answers, you should talk to Blaze's old crew. They know things that might lead you to whoever's behind this. Jaden, thinking. And why should I trust you? Leo, smirking. Because, Jay, I've got nothing to lose. And maybe, just maybe, I want to see you take down the assholes who've been messing with you. Jaden stares at Leo for a moment, weighing his options. He doesn't trust him, but Leo might be his only lead. Jaden, nodding, fine. But if you're playing me, Leo, you're dead. Leo, grinning, wouldn't dream of it, old friend. As Jaden leaves the house, he can't shake the feeling that he's stepping back into a world he thought he'd left behind. A world where trust is a luxury and the past is never truly buried. But if he's going to survive the storm that's coming, he'll need to face the ghosts of his past head-on. Following Leo's lead, Jaden tracks down Blaze's old crew. They meet in an old construction site on the edge of town, a place where deals are made in the shadows. The crew is hesitant to talk, but Jaden's reputation and his gun persuade them. Spider, nervously, Blaze was working for someone big, someone who's been pulling strings from behind the scenes. He kept it quiet, but we knew something was off. Jaden, demanding, Who? Who was he working for? Spider, shaking his head. I don't know the name, but there were whispers, man. Whispers about some big player, someone they called Spectre. Jaden, frowning, Spectre? What else? Spider, shrugging. That's all I got. But whoever this Spectre is, they're connected deep. You're not just fighting gangs anymore, Jaden. You're going up against something bigger. Jaden, nodding, thanks. And if you hear anything else, you know how to find me. Spider, nervously. Yeah. Just be careful, man. This Spectre, he's not someone you want to cross. Jaden leaves the construction site, his mind racing with this new information. Spectre. A name that feels more like a shadow lurking just out of reach. But now that he knows there's someone pulling the strings, Jaden is more determined than ever to uncover the truth. As Jaden drives back to his apartment, he receives a message from Viper. We got a problem. Meet me at the usual spot. Jaden changes course, heading to a quiet park on the outskirts of town, a place where they've had many tense conversations before. Viper is already there, pacing restlessly under a street lamp. Jaden, getting out of the car. What's going on? Viper, grimly. Raven's gone. He didn't show up for the meet, and his place is trashed. Whoever took him left a message for us. Viper hands Jaden a piece of paper, stained with blood. The message is simple. Back off or he dies. Jaden, furious. Spectre. He's making his move. Viper, nodding. We need to find Raven before it's too late. But we can't go in blind. We need a plan. Jaden, determined. We'll find him. And when we do, we're going to end this. The two men stand in the quiet park, the weight of the situation pressing down on them. The stakes have never been higher, and the enemy has never been more dangerous. But Jaden is ready. He's faced the ghost of his past, and now he's ready to face the shadowy figure pulling the strings.
I know killers, I did drills, we can't break that bond. I got niggas up in that jail cell trying to make that bond. Real nigga who got caught had to do that time. I know a nigga made 100 racks and that nigga blind. Fuck what you heard, bitch, I'm on my grind. Can't trust a soul, bitch, I keep my nine. I'ma let it blow before you take my shine. You already know, bitches do or die. What you think I'ma do when it come to me and mine?
Episode 8, the final countdown. Jaden and Viper stand outside a crumbling building deep in the neighborhood. It's the kind of place they used to hang out in as kids, only now it's a meeting spot for Blaze's old crew. Jaden's mind is racing, thinking about Raven, who's been missing for days. Jaden, looking at Viper. We need to get Raven back. Now. Viper, nodding. Let's handle business. Inside, the atmosphere is tense. Spider, a wiry member of Blaze's old crew, is there waiting. He's nervous, glancing around like he expects trouble. Spider, anxious. You said you wanted info, but now you're dragging me into some rescue mission? Jaden, serious. You're coming with us, Spider. We need to find Raven, and you know this place better than anyone. Spider, reluctantly. Fine, but Spectre's got eyes everywhere. You're playing a dangerous game. Jaden, coldly. We don't have a choice. They move through the darkened streets of the hood, heading to a rundown warehouse where Blaze's crew used to operate. The place is eerily quiet, but the air is thick with tension. Jaden grips his gun tighter, his eyes scanning for any signs of movement. Spider, whispering, "This place gives me the creeps, man." Jaden, focused, stay sharp. We're getting Raven out. Inside, they find Raven tied to a chair, bruised and beaten, but alive. Jaden rushes over to untie him, while Viper and Spider keep watch. Raven, horse, took you long enough. Jaden, grinning, couldn't let you have all the fun. Just as they free Raven, gunfire erupts from the shadows. They dive for cover as bullets ricochet off the walls. Viper, yelling, "It's a setup." Jaden, returning fire, "We've been played. Keep moving." They fight their way out, bullets flying in every direction. The gangsters from Blaze's old crew are relentless, but Jaden, Viper, and Raven manage to break free, escaping into the night. Back in a safe house deep in the hood, the trio catches their breath. Raven is patched up, but the mood is grim. They're no closer to finding out who Spectre is, and the weight of the situation hangs heavy in the air. Jaden, angry, "We've got nothing. Just a name with no face." Viper, calmly, "We're not done yet. We'll make him show himself." Raven, tired, "We need to lay low, regroup. He's got the upper hand." Jaden, determined, "No. We keep pushing. We'll make Spectre come to us." Viper, grinning, "Then let's stir up the streets. Make him show his face." Jaden nods, the fire in his eyes burning brighter. They faced down gang wars, rival crews, and now this shadowy figure pulling the strings. But they're not backing down. Not now. As they step out into the night, the hood stretches out before them, bathed in the glow of streetlights. Jaden, Viper, and Raven walk side by side, ready for whatever comes next. The streets are alive with the tension of what's to come, and the war is far from over.
I know killers, I did drills, we can't break that bond. I got niggas up in that jail cell trying to make that bond. Real nigga who got caught had to do that time. I know a nigga made 100 racks and that nigga blind. Fuck what you heard, bitch, I'm on my grind. Can't trust a soul, bitch, I keep my nine. I'ma let it blow before you take my shine. You already know, bitches do or die. What you think I'ma do when it come to me?